Third example, we got a radical equation. So let's refresh our memory on the steps on that. Solving radical equations. Well, step one, get a radical by itself. Don't create a fraction. Step two, raise both sides to a power equal to the index. Step three, if more radicals, go back to step number one. Step four, solve for x. And step five, check your answers. So let's take a look at this problem. We get the square root of x plus 9 minus 3 equals x. First step, get a radical by itself. Well, the radical is not quite by itself. It's got a negative 3 over there. So I'm going to take the negative 3 and move it to the right side. Anytime you move anything across the equals, the sign changes. So the negative 3 becomes a positive 3. Step 2, raise both sides to a power equal to the index. Well, this is a square root. The index is normally the number in this little slot right here, but since this is a square root, it's by default 2. So we're going to square both sides. Now, when you square a square root, when the index matches the power you're raising to, they cancel each other out. So we got x plus 9. And over on this side, x plus 3 squared means x plus 3 times x plus 3. Well, x times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times 3 is 9. No matter where you are in math, you should combine together like terms. 3x plus 3x is 6x plus 9. Now step 3, if more radicals, go back to step number 1. We don't have any more radicals. Step 4, solve for x. On this particular problem, we have an x squared. So we want to get everything over on one side, 0 on the other. Hopefully it factors. If not, we could use a quadratic formula. So I'm going to take the x plus 9 and move them over to the right side. And again, when you move anything across the equals, the sign changes. So the x becomes a negative x. And the 9 becomes a negative 9. Combine together like terms. 6x minus x gives us 5x. 9 minus 9 drops away. And this factor is real easy. They both have an x in common. So I factor out an x. And that gives us x plus 5. Now, the zero factor property says you get 0 on one side, and you factor the other side. You're going to set each factor equal to 0. So I set x equals 0, and x plus 5 equal to 0. Well, I'll take the 5 over, it becomes a negative 5. And then the last step, check your answers. I don't normally put that on my steps, but on this particular one you have to, because this process gives you the right answers, but sometimes it gives you the false answers too. So you have to check them. Well, let's put 0 back up in our original problem. 0 plus 9 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. 3 minus 3 would give us 0 on the left side. If I put 0 over here, we'd have 0. So we'd have 0 is equal to 0. So that checks. Now negative 5. Negative 5 plus 9 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. So on this side we'd have 2 minus 3. And if I put negative 5 in for the x over here, we get this. Well, 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So negative 1 does not equal to negative 5. So that does not check. So our only answer is the x equals 0, which would be A. So 3A. Let's go look at that. And that checks.